Medford is a small city of around 60,000 people. It is home to Route 16, Route 38, Interstate 93, the Mystic River, the Middlesex Fells, and Tufts University to the south. Medford is, in many ways, the quintessential small eastern Mass city. Medium-high income, mostly residential, mostly families, well-educated, and white. Except for the fact that Medford's actually fairly large and home to several distant and distinct neighborhoods, all of which have their own unique challenges and their corresponding solutions. Medford is a diverse city, though very unequal. The average household income in West Medford, for instance, is over $122,000 per year, but something like 15% of households in East Medford, south of Riverside Ave, subsist on less than $15K a year. Around 38% of the resident population between Salem and Washington Streets, just north of Riverside Ave, speak languages besides English, and somewhere between 9 and 25% of families with children in the eastern and southern faces of the city, closest to Route 93, are single-parent households. That same area that surrounds Riverside Ave is also home to the largest non-white population in Medford. Somewhere between 40 and 73% of residents, according to census data, identify with non-white backgrounds. Compare this with data from North or most of West Medford, both of which are more than 80% Caucasian. Given that the housing stock is almost 57% owner-occupied, consisting mostly of multifamily colonials, typically over a century old, most of the city's single-family homes are clustered in the wealthier areas of the city, with those most economically and educationally disadvantaged being heavily concentrated in those 2 or 3 family homes in East and South Medford. Living in an area dominated by renters in Medford is one of the clearest indicators of economic disadvantage portrayed by census data. The city's 2 middle schools, the Andrews and the McGlynn, along with the McGlynn Elementary School, are both located in the Riverside-Wellington area of East Medford. Both do an excellent job of providing occupation and opportunity to school-age kids in the form of sports teams and after-school programs, but do not cater so well to the needs of parents with young children, who often struggle to balance work responsibilities with those they hold as parents. Single parents would benefit greatly from an affordable or zero-cost early childhood daycare program which, as a cost-saving measure, could use the existing school facilities which are already centrally located to those aforementioned areas with the highest relative populations of single parents. And with a recent uptick in market interest from urban young professionals, partially thanks to a glowing 2019 endorsement from Boston Magazine, even with existing housing projects near the McGlynn, the city may benefit from instead implementing rent control in a few of these rapidly expanding sections of the city, protecting those at-risk working families that call the neighborhood home. Average per-family expenditure on rent in 2019 was more than $1,100 a month. Not all that unheard of for Greater Boston, but with cost of living on the rise, the effective protections for those without could potentially be life-changing. With respect to its disadvantaged populations, Medford does the best it can with what it has. What should become immediately clear, though, is the remarkable inequality and noticeable economic and racial segregation between various parts of the city. Looking at rough user-sourced ratings from Niche.com, an online community review board for schools and neighborhoods, the quality of Medford's 4 elementary schools are heavily dependent on their neighborhood's wealth, further solidifying these disadvantages. It isn't until 6th grade or so, at age 13, when Medford's students are able to interact with classmates from other backgrounds. This current system is unfair and segregates young children based on the economic statuses of their parents. A student's placement in kindergarten should be dependent on a lottery system, forcing the city to invest in all of their schools rather than just the ones with the biggest head starts due to fundraising.